Hey, well, good morning and welcome to another daily devotional. We're starting a new journey. We're going through the book of Job. Job will stretch you so much in your thinking and your view of God and all of these things because we learn so much about God and we see the interaction between God and Satan in a way that we don't in any other book. And then we also see a man in the middle, Job, between this whole conversation. So when we get into the book of Job, Job chapter 1 starts off kind of laying the foundation for who this man Job is. And it goes on to basically say that he has impeccable character, that beyond anything, he's absolutely blameless. You know, in Job, his morality was so strong. You'll read later in the book that even his marriage with his wife, he says, if I've even lusted after another woman, let another man sleep with my wife. That's just how his level of thinking, his level of dedication to God was above all else, to purity, to holiness, to integrity. Beyond all else, God had blessed him. He was amazingly wealthy. He had tons of employees and servants and all these things. And so it gets to this point where Job is living this amazingly blessed life. God is doing amazing things. Then in the middle of chapter 1, we see this. Satan then comes into heaven and has a conversation with God. And God points out Job. He says, hey, Satan, have you ever noticed my servant Job? Look at how much he worships me. Look at how amazing he is. Look at the life that he has. Look at how awesome Job is. Then Satan kind of fires back at God and says, well, duh, he loves you. You've blessed him. He has thousands upon thousands of sheep and cattle and camels and servants. And he has the perfect number of kids. And he has the perfect house with a white picket fence and 2.3 kids and a golden retriever named Sally. You know, it's like this guy has the perfect dream life. Of course he loves you. Of course he loves you. He has had the perfect life. But God goes on to say this, you know, my relationship with my children that love me has nothing to do with their possessions. Really, that's what this whole first chapter is starting to get at. He says, you know what? I'm confident that Job loves me because he loves me, not because of anything I've blessed him with. So he says to Satan, do what you want to do to test Job. Okay? Do what you want to do to test Job. So then we go on and you see then from verses 13 on, messenger after messenger after messenger come up to Job. I can imagine them running up to Job and saying, Job, you will not believe what just happened. The first one says, hey, all of your oxen and donkeys, really, this would be like saying if you're in engineering or something, hey, all of the machinery that runs your business, it absolutely all just got destroyed. So you no longer have a business. He goes, oh my goodness. Then another person comes and says, hey, all of the sheep and the servants that you had out in the field, they're all gone. They're dead. Everything's gone. Okay. Then the thing that hits home, the last one, someone comes and says, hey, Job, all of your family is dead other than your wife. They've all died in a tragic accident. So boom, boom, boom. His job, all of his possessions, and all of his children completely dead. Gone. Poof. And then we see Job's response at the end. It says this, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. And just the centeredness that Job has, that he realizes, okay, all of these things I had in my life, there's only one person that could have possibly given this to me, and this is God. And you know what? He still loves me. He still cares for me. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. In all this, Job did not sin. This is the crucial verse. By charging God with wrongdoing. In the midst of suffering, how often do we blame God for things and say, God, this is all your fault. God, you have sinned against me. What you did, God, is wrong. Sometimes we feel like we know better than God, and we think that the decision that God has made is wrong in a time. We say, okay, God, you made this decision. Now I am charging you, God. You did evil. Did you notice at the beginning that it said that Job shunned evil? He hated evil. It says that about Job multiple times. You're going to see this. That Job understood what is evil and what is God. There's God and then there's evil. And he has always shunned evil. And many times we can get to the point where we say, okay, God has done an evil thing. God can never do evil. It's not even in his character. He is love. But we can charge God and say, what the decision you made, God, is evil. But Job did not do that. He said, okay, whatever's going on, I trust that God, I know that you do not do evil. You cannot do evil, and that you have given and you have taken away, and I will continue to praise your name. So today, I don't know where you come from. I don't know if you're suffering, what it is that you're going through. But just remember that evil is not part of God's character. Do not charge God with evil, that God has never done an evil thing in his life. He is always just. He is always righteous. No matter what it may seem like at the beginning, we're in chapter 1. No matter what it may seem like in the beginning, we must maintain a mentality of Job. Okay, God, you cannot do evil. I'm not charging you with evil. You are divine. You are sovereign. What you do is what you do. So over the next 2 days, chapters 2 and chapters 3, we're going to continue to talk about this dialogue between Satan, God, and Job. It's going to continue. I encourage you to read ahead. There's no way I can just read chapter 1 and end there. I'm the kind of guy that I'm gonna read the whole book in one sitting because it's just so good. So I encourage you to read ahead. Tomorrow and the next day, we're going to be going over chapters 2 and chapters 3. So make sure to read ahead. I pray that God is with you today, that you have an amazing day. We'll see you tomorrow.